credit. They came in here and did what they had to do and came out here with a win. I haven't come up here many times all year. I felt like that my team didn't play with that extra gear and some energy. I don't mean we didn't. We've come up here many nights we haven't played well, but for the most part, I always felt like, man, we played with every ounce of energy we had. I didn't feel that tonight. You know, does it have to do with the start that Marshall got? You know, first off, you can't let that happen. Like I say, everybody's good when things are going good, but when things go a little bit bad, that's when you got to be at your best. And they jumped out. Was it 12-3? What was the score early, guys? 12-3. You know, in about 2.5 minutes. And I just felt like from there on, we let them play at a comfort level. We never could. And it did what it's done to us all year long. It sped us up. It sped us up offensively. That ball didn't go around that baseline consistently enough. And when you're playing with the lead from ahead, that basket gets big, and that's what it was for them. You know, Loop and Elmore just absolutely killed us again. I don't know if I got the answer for it. Go back and watch film and see. But forget all that. I just don't feel like our team had that extra step that you got to have to beat the good teams. And it's my job to get them to have that step. You know, we rested. I felt like I gave them this time of year more rest than normal. I don't think, couldn't have been a fatigue thing. You know, again, I know games so much about emotion. And that emotion went the wrong way in that first 3.5 minutes. But you got to be tough enough to push through that and fight through it. You can't wait to the last 7, 8 minutes, whatever it was on that clock, when you're down 20 points, to really start digging in. And we made some shots, got some emotion. And that's when we were a different basketball team and tightened them up some. You know, we had an opportunity there with 15 seconds to go. You know, take 2. I'm out of timeouts. Like I said, I think I used all my timeouts before the first timeout. But you know, take a 2 right there. And I know we wouldn't have been in that situation if it wasn't for Q making some threes and driving that ball, but that time, that clock and score all changed. And it was a 3-point game, wasn't it? Right there, you go take 2, and they were going to foul you, or you're going to get a layup right there. So, again, give Marshall credit. They did what they played the way they had to play to come here and win.
Does it add to disappointment when you had a full week to prepare and they knew what they had to do and still came out?
You know, what was disappointing, anytime you lose is disappointing. That's a disappointing thing when you lose, always. I don't the week to prepare is not the issue. Maybe the thing that bothers me is I didn't feel like that we had that zip. I mean, that's just the way I felt. And you guys sit there and watch it, you probably felt that way too. Is it because of the way we played? Is it because of the way Marshall played? I mean, but again, you can't let the way the opponent play affect your energy and emotion. I know it's easier said than done sometimes.
What finally caused you guys to flip that switch there when you got, I think it was maybe 23 points? What was it that finally switched on for them?
Well, I don't know what really flipped. I know I went small with whatever time was on that clock, 7 or 8 minutes. You guys got the stats. What was it when we went small? Does anybody know? We checked probably cake in for Jabari. It's probably the 7, 8 minute mark. Went small. Going small allowed us to score better, made us quicker, and was more able to get that ball along that baseline to Justin. And Q was good off that bounce. You know, Taylor had a hard time guarding him off that bounce. Taylor had 4 fouls. Now Moore had 4 fouls, and we're aware of that. And we couldn't get that 5th foul in either one of them.
You mentioned you like playing at home, you like having the fans interact and be a part of the game. Seeing that they got behind the team today, how effective that had?
The crowd was great. Now, I mean, unfortunately, we didn't give them a lot to cheer about for about 30 minutes or whatever it was. I mean, we had a great crowd, and once we started playing a little bit and gave them something to cheer for, there's no question. There was a lot of energy in the building, there was a lot of motion, and that's why we were able to get back in it. We fed off that right there, and that's why I call it always just that artificial motivation you have at home. But you got to be a player, you know, no matter what that situation is, you got to be tough enough to fight through it and push through it, what that score was. And again, I don't think we did a very good job with that tonight. Yes, sir.
Rick, I'm asking this respectfully, but when you refer to the start of the game, this was your 25th game of the season. Are there still parts of your team that you're still trying to figure out even after 25 games?
No, I've pretty much figured it out. I figured it out. I mean, it's parts of my team I can't change. That's the answer. But I've figured it out now. Yes, for sure. And sometimes it's got to be. I got to play the game based on that feel, because I never know sometimes. And y'all know what I'm talking about with that. I never know for sure where some guys are at consistently. I know where some guys are at. Some other ones I never know. And that's the thing that, again, I have to just play for feel.
You just comment on Justin scoring his 1,000th point and getting in that club.
Well, needed 1,006, what we needed. So, hey, guess we need a couple more. I mean, hey, Justin didn't get him that ball enough in that first half. But Justin's played well. You know that. Justin's a guy we're going to get that ball to. And they made a concerted effort tonight to try to front him in that post and keep him from getting in as much. And, again, when you get down a little bit, you don't have the same patience of getting that ball to the post. And that's the thing you can't have right there. You got some guys will settle for some other things based on that score. And you just can't do that. But y'all have heard that several times from me.
You try to sneak Mitchell into uniform halftime at all?
Yeah. Well, y'all watched that game over there today, didn't you? So, like I say, he's got a lot of potential, and we look forward to getting him out here next year and get some strength and weight on him, get him ready. But right now, my concern is getting this team back. Now we got another tough one coming up Thursday, Sundays, no easy ones. And again, I've said this, our team has such a small margin for error. Even when we play good, even when we feel like we're playing hard, man, we got a minus margin for error when I don't feel like we have that extra step. And again, I don't think we had that extra step tonight. My job to have that extra step. I don't know what it was. Thought it kept them really fresh. Did less than normal. And again, is it the start that Marshall got? Give them some credit. Give them some credit too. Some of those threes they made start that game. What was the score early? What did they get us down? 12-3, then what else?
14-3, 26-9,
14-3.
24-9, 5:20 into the game.
How many threes did they hit at that 5:20 into the game? 5 for 5. I'd have to look back and see where they all come from. I don't remember. Elmore and Loop. I just saw them 2 weeks ago at home. They don't do it very often at home, go 3 for 25 at home. When they shoot it, hey, they're really good. And like I say, with them, they'll let you back in it sometime because they keep shooting it. But for whatever reason, we haven't done a very good job keeping them from shooting that basketball. 14 for 24. It seemed like a lot more than 14. But that's a pretty good percentage, whatever that is. What is that percentage? It's almost 58, 59%. That's pretty tough.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Coach.
Got it?
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.